a huge thank you, Pierre, for that, Piers, for that amazing welcome. First of all, I'm just going to focus on you guys out there. I mean, congratulations to all of you graduates of 2025. What an accomplishment. And I'm not going to ask you to clap again, because really why I'm here is to give everyone 5 minutes break from clapping. And in return, you're going to humour me by listening to my few words, hopefully of wisdom. I don't know what else we might call them, at least learnings, I think, over my 20-odd year career. It really is an honour to be here during the 60th anniversary of Warwick. What celebrations you're having, and what a great time to actually be here again and to see it. I haven't been here for over 15 years, so it's amazing seeing the changes today. Look, at Pfizer, we love our acronyms, and the acronym I'm going to start off with is BLUF, bottom line, up front. So I'm going to get to the point. What am I going to tell you about? I'm going to tell you about my learning is you need to get good at managing change, whether that be in your home life or your work life. The people I've seen who really do well with this, they're more successful, and I think they're happier people as well. And the good news is you've had a great start by being here at Warwick. I mean, my experience of Warwick, I came here as a anxious, nervous, and again today, anxious, nervous individual who'd never lived on his own, never had any experience of paying a bank balance or knowing how to pay my rent or anything like that. And really, over my undergrad years, you know, I learned kind of community, friendship. I had so many opportunities. I joined a band, made myself look ridiculous around the pubs of Coventry, and generally had an absolutely joyous time at this university. And it really helped take as I say, a very inexperienced individual and turn me into a much more confident, outgoing person as I left university. And when I left university, I thought I had a really good sense of what I was going to do. I thought I was going to head into research. And in fact, I started a PhD at my beloved Warwick University as well. Unfortunately, then change happened, and we had family illness. And it meant I had to rethink about my pathway into research. And instead, I needed to go out and earn some money. And I looked into industry. I wanted to continue with scientific interest, but also I wanted to get out more and talk about science a little bit more. And I joined a company, a pharmaceutical company called Pharmacia. And I had 18 weeks of introduction, and I'd landed on my feet. I loved the people. I found the work really invigorating and really interesting and really eye-opening. And so at the end of those 18 weeks, I was ready. And I went into West London for the first time. I'd never lived in London before either, so it's a big experience from that point of view, a big change there too. And on my very first day, my manager sat me down and he said, "Well done, Andy." He said, "You passed all of your onboarding." He said, "Unfortunately, we are being taken over by a large company called Pfizer, and you probably won't have a job by the end of this month." And that was the introduction for me into industry. And now I stand here, over 20 years later, I'm still part of Pfizer. So you might say to me, "Well, come on, you can't talk to us about change. You've had over 20 years of a career with the same company." And that's true, but what working with Pfizer has taught me is every single one of those years brings change as well. Some of those are changes I brought upon myself and opportunities, and ones I'm delighted I had, and others were done to me, and maybe I wasn't quite so keen on at the time. But all of them brought opportunities and good thinking time to learn from as well. And over those 20 years, I've been able to go from sales roles to marketing roles at a local level, and then into our regional team, and now currently I'm in our global team, and I joined our vaccines team 10 years ago. And we've been in the news a little bit over recent years, and it's been a very interesting and eventful journey to here today. In amongst that, the thing that is even more change in anyone's life, I think, is I got married, and then I've had 3 daughters, 3 beautiful daughters. I'm a very lucky guy. And there's a lot of parents in the room today. You'll know that more than anything you'll do in your job, having kids certainly changes your world. But it's times like this today that really makes it worthwhile. Also, we obviously live in a world full of change. A lot of it is unfortunately, sadly, negative change, and we see conflict in the world. We see great upset. We see climate change. But most change, I'm pleased to say, usually has both positive and negative ways of looking at it. And it's always, I think, very important when you're confronted with any change to look on both those positive and negative sides. Managing change can be extremely stressful and challenging as well as you go. And unfortunately, one thing you can be assured of in your lives is it will be constant. So my advice to you, my advice is actually acknowledge when you're going through change. That's the first key thing I would say. Always look for those positives and those negatives that might come as you go through that change. And I think probably the biggest priority is to actually be compassionate to yourself and others who are going through similar things. Take time for yourself. If you can, if there's a decision to be made, make time to make that decision. Seek out your friends, your family, your community, and get their input. Because there's a lot of support out there around the world if you go and ask for it and you go and look for it. And managing change shouldn't be something any of us has to do on our own. The very good news, and as mentioned earlier by Vice Chancellor, is that this community that you're joining today, the community of over 300,000 alumni from all around the world, is there to help as well. I've never met a more friendly group of people than the people I met through Warwick. And I think the community that is fostered both here whilst you've been here, and I'm sure you've really enjoyed it, but afterwards, it is still there as well to call on at any time, and I would advise that you do. So, in conclusion from me, Warwick gave me a wonderful foundation, and it gave me a foundation from which I was able to adapt and survive an awful lot of changes over the years, and I really thank Warwick for that. And I think now you've got that foundation as well, and I expect that you'll be able to use that to become equally, if not, I'm sure, far more successful than I. And I wish you all the very best of luck in your futures. Congratulations, everyone.